What's going on, you guys? Full Steer, and I'm back with another video. Today's video, I'll be doing an in-depth Tryndamere jungle guide. He's actually a very good jungler right now. I definitely list him pretty high in my tier list for junglers. He has very good clear, especially with Tiamat. You do need to rush that Tiamat a little bit though, but yeah. He's a very good clear. He has high damage output. He's a 1v9 type champion with that ultimate and just going in and doing a lot of damage. Split pushing is also very good, so if your team's not doing too well, you can split push, put pressure down. And then if they react to you, you can still kill everything. So you can pull a lot of that. And yeah, he's overall, if you want to get out of low elo, for example, then definitely this is a champion I would recommend. He's kind of Master Yi-like, but with an ultimate that pretty much makes him invincible. And that's going to be a little bit safer in general. So yeah, let's get right into the runes now. This is the rune setup I use on Tryndamere. I go for Conqueror because, well, Tryndamere easily gets that time in battle. He has his ultimate, which gives him a lot of extra time in battle. As soon as Conqueror procs, you are destroying the enemy. Like, you deal a good amount of damage without Conqueror, but as soon as this procs, and this is also what makes it so good, because you can play a little bit more farm-heavy style of Tryndamere, get yourself ahead, get yourself to those 2 to 3 items, and then with Conqueror rune, you are obliterating the enemy team. So this rune is what makes it very, very strong, and this rune is what pretty much just made it a thing, really. So yeah, that's definitely the rune you need to pick up. It's a lot of damage you get out of this, and yeah. Now right here, I pick up Triumph on Tryndamere because, well, think about it like this. You go in, you get 1 HP from your ultimate. You're pretty much going to be on like very, very low health. So you're going to have no health, and then Triumph, as soon as you kill someone, you're going to get 12% of your missing health, which is going to be pretty much your entire HP bar is missing health. And then 12% from that you get it back. Combine that with a Q heal. And then also you have Revitalize. You're gonna be healing after a kill with your ultimate on. You can press Q, and then with Triumph you're gonna get like half to like 60% of your HP bar back, which is gonna give you a clean escape in a lot of situations. So that's definitely the one you need to go for. Now here I go for the attack speed because, well, it's just the best one, really. You need to get as many attacks out as possible to get kind of roll the dice on crits as much as possible, to just really just destroy people and hack them down. This is also very good for killing dragons and barons, because the more auto attacks you do, the faster you kill them, and it's also very good for jungle clearing, because again, for the same reason, the more auto attacks you do, the more Tiamat procs you get, the faster your jungle camps is going to die. Plus, like, your E, AoE also helps with that too. And then here, of course, Last Stand on Tryndamere. It is a no-brainer. You get very, very low on Tryndamere. So the damage is pretty much, when you get below 60%, it starts kicking in. And then max damage is gained at 30% health. But again, Tryndamere is going to be on literally 1 HP. Or just 1%, or however you want to see it. Very, very low. So this is going to be very easy. 11% damage increase. Combined with this, and then just like damage you have already. Crits, you're just obliterating people. Like, people think that you do a good amount of damage on full HP. It's nothing compared to when Conqueror procs. You get low health, you press your ultimate, and you just start wailing on them. It's so much damage. It's actually insane. And it's very hard to do for the enemy to deal with it unless they lock you down with CC, which you can indeed counter with Q assesses if you, or like not multiple, but just one, to get some of that CC off you if you want to keep hitting them. So it is counterable, but yeah. And then for the secondary tree, it is Resolve tree for sure. It gives you a little bit of extra health, which is nice. It gives you extra attack speed, which is also nice. But that pretty much comes from this. And then the main thing here is just the Revitalize one. Heals and shields you cast or receive are 5% stronger and increased by an additional 10% on targets below 40% health. Now, pretty much this means that your Q is going to heal more, just all your heals are going to heal more. It's just, in general, very, very good. It's going to give you a lot of healing, in general, in your average Tryndamere game. And then also the bone plating is very nice to go in to fights, if you know what I'm saying. So, for example, you're trying to engage, like, get a W slow on them, and if they're AD carries, for example, they can start hitting you. But then bone plating will pretty much mean that you will take a lot less damage whilst actually getting close to them. And then as soon as you're close to them, you can get low enough to proc your ultimate to keep hitting them. And then it kind of just saves your life for a long time. That's why you really want to get bone plating. But you definitely want to get this Resolve tree for this, for the Revitalize. And then the other one, I mean, bone plating is probably the best, in my opinion. But maybe you like Chrysalis for 60 extra health or something. It's not that recommended, but you can if you want to, I guess. I would recommend bone plating though. So that's the rune page for Tryndamere. Let's move into the items now. I mean, I guess one of them should be empty, right? Ah, there we go. Let's go. Machete, first item. Machete is pretty much a no-brain start. Now, there are two options you can start with on, on Tryndamere. You can go a refillable potion, which is what I would recommend you to do when you're trying to, like, get into Tryndamere and learn him a little bit more. And then as soon as you're pretty much experienced at using Q heals, so that means, as soon, like, right before you're about to kill a lot of minions in that camp that you're clearing, you press your Q to heal, you kill those minions for, like, for example, the Raptor camp or the Krug camp if they split up. They're very easy kills. You can just heal before that, get a lot of HP back from your Q heal, and then as soon as you kill all those enemies, you're going to get a lot of extra Fury back, and then you pretty much have an entire Fury bar again to sustain yourself with. So if you get good at sustaining yourself just straight up with Tryndamere in the jungle, then you will not have to go refillable potion, and you can go for the rejuvenation bead, which builds into your main core item, Tiamat. This needs to be rushed as fast as possible to get your clear in your jungle to where it needs to be, because without this, Tryndamere's jungle clear is just really bad, and you're not going to get anywhere in your game. So if you pick up the rejuvenation bead, this will be picked up faster, and if you just, what I said, get good enough with your Q heals to keep your health, like, pretty much topped up, and then also with smite heals, you can go rejuvenation bead, and this also gives you a little bit of extra health regen. So if you get good enough at Tryndamere, you can do that, and then Tiamat will come faster, which means that you get to pretty much your power spike faster, I suppose. Like, the real item you're looking for is just Tiamat for that extra clear potential, which then is going to translate into extra invade potential and just extra clear. Like, that's why you start ramping up, really. So you have to get that, and yeah, that's why you can do that. Now, after Tiamat, you pretty much just want to get a couple items. The boots you want are always Berserker Greaves, really, because, like, you can get Mercs if the enemy team is very heavy CC. That's the only situation you would get these boots over, like, any other boots over Berserkers. So, because, like, you don't really want to get perma locked down, really. So Mercs will be good in that situation. But with your ultimate, these extra tank stats don't matter much. Like, it doesn't matter. You go in, you ult, and you're gonna be tanking for a lot of time, whilst also just dealing out a lot of damage. So you ideally just want to deal more damage with that 35% extra attack speed, which is gonna mean more hits, more crits, more HP down from the enemy, and you're just gonna kill them faster. So Berserkers are the best boots, but if you are facing a lot of heavy CC that's very hard to dodge, and you only have one QSS, then Mercs becomes the item you want here, instead of the Berserkers. Now, moving on from that, the first, like, I guess, damage item you want to get is the Phantom Dancer. This is going to give you a lot of 1v1 potential too. It's going to pretty much mean that they deal a lot less damage to you. So, if you start 1v1ing people, then it gives you a lot of extra time before you have to press your ultimate, if you even have to press it at all. It also gives you the, like, you can move through units ability, which is very nice too. It pretty much means you can get creep blocked by anything. So, combine this with your Tiamat, you're going to be having a very easy time clearing your jungle, or just clearing anything in general. 30% crit chance, plus the 35% crit chance you get from your passive if you have a maxed Fury bar, is going to mean 65% crit, so, like, 1 every 2 hits you're going to crit. Not exactly, but yeah. It is a very good DPS increase, and it's definitely the item you want to get here. And then, after this, the other main, like, item you want to get is the Essence Reaver. So this is, like, a core build, but I go every single game, no question. So Tiamat into boots, whatever the boots may be, unless you can pick up a straight Phantom Dancer, then that would be very good too, and with, like, normal boots. But usually it's Tiamat, Berserker Greaves, Phantom Dancer, Essence Reaver. This combination is going to give you a lot of crits, 20%, plus the 30% from this is going to be 50, plus your passives 35%, it's 85% crit. So it's a very good crit ratio to be on. And then also Essence Reaver, pretty much with that, gives you max CDR, which means more ultimates, more ease, more just everything in general. And that's just a very good combination. Now, some people might be like, why don't you go Infinity Edge? Infinity Edge is optional if you want after this. It can top you off to 100% crit. It can increase your crit damage a lot. So if you need that extra damage, it's definitely something you can do against, like, a squishier enemy team. If they're, like, having a lot of tanks, then it becomes better to go for HP scaling damage in the form of your jungle item, which would then be... where is it? This one, the Blood Razor jungle item, is very good if you are facing higher tank, like HP tanks, or just tanks in general, really. If they have high health on the enemy team, then Blood Razor becomes very, very good as a pickup. You can upgrade your machete, because by the way, you want to keep your machete as long as possible. Like, I upgraded most games into either this or the warrior enchant, unless I'm a good amount ahead and I don't have to do that, and I can just skip that and go for the infinity edge instead of the warrior enchant. But you want to keep your machete as long as possible, because if you don't, you're gonna you're gonna lose out on a lot of special bonus experience from monsters. So you definitely don't want to give this item up that fast. Plus 10% lifesteal versus monsters is very good for sustaining yourself besides your Q. So it's definitely something you want to hang on to. If you watch me play Tryndamere, then I just pretty much keep it the entire fucking game. Because if you don't, then you're just going to lose so much experience. You're going to be like levels behind where you should be, and that's just not worth it. So yeah, you can upgrade this into the Blood Razor. That's usually what I go for after the Essence Reaver, because most of the games I play in, there's at least like a tank that I have to deal with, and then Blood Razor becomes very good. If they don't have that tank, you can go for the Infinity Edge in pretty much this buy slot after the Essence Reaver to just ramp up your damage and just one-shot squishies completely. Like 2 auto attacks and they're gone type of stuff. So that, and then after this, if you went for this one, by the way, if you went for the Blood Razor, then your final item is going to be the Gwynsu's Rage Blade, because this is pretty much going to proc your Blood Razor a lot more often, and just, like, yeah. So that would be your last item in that case, so your full build will look like, wait, actually not completely look like this, but this gets upgraded into the Hydra for extra lifesteal. Just, forgot to mention that. So as soon as you pretty much need the lifesteal, you can upgrade your Tiamat into the Hydra or buy a Vamp Scepter, and then get the Ravenous Hydra upgrade. So this is a 6-item full build on Tryndamere. Usually this is what my item build looks like most games, because most games I will need this Blood Razor in this slot to be able to deal with some tanks, and then the Gwynsu scales really well with that to just, yeah, pretty much give you a massive damage boost. So this would be a full build. This gives you max CDR, it gives you a lot of lifesteal, and just the ability to shred anyone in the enemy team, really. You get crits with this, Phantom Dancer, Essence Reaver, and then also your Fury. It's gonna be a good amount of, like, a good amount of health in crits, even though you don't have Infinity Edge. It would be way higher with that, but it's not really needed if you're killing squishies. You're gonna kill them in like 3 auto attacks anyway. So Blood Razor Gwynsu is a very good combination, and this would be one full build setup. The other full build setup would be then, if you don't use this Blood Razor, then you will not have to use the Gwynsus really, because that doesn't really work too well together. And then you can just go with the, what I said, the Infinity Edge combination, and then usually with this combination, I want to definitely get myself this, like the Merc Sim / QSS. That's also something you might want to consider replacing, like, Gwynsus with later in the game, if you have to, if you absolutely have to, against high CC comps. So if you went like Mercs, and then you went with Ravenous with Phantom Dancer and then Essence Reaver into this Blood Razor, then you definitely want to replace your Rage Blade with the Mercurial Scimitar for the QSS effect if they have heavy CC, because else you're not gonna, like, it's better to deal a little bit less damage and actually deal damage than deal more damage and be perma-CC'd. So that's when you have to replace the Mercurial Scimitar. But this would be a full build setup without having to go for against those tank situations with the Blood Razor Gwynsu's combo. And yeah, this is gonna be a very high amount of burst damage. If you get one crit, it's gonna crit for like 12 to 1300 crit on just an enemy AD carry. It's 2 auto attacks and they're dead. Like that type of stuff. This deals a lot of damage. So that's pretty much the build setup for Tryndamere. If you have any questions on it, make sure to put them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those questions for you. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video so far, please make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe / notification bells for more guides as well. And see you guys in the gameplay section. Alright, welcome to the gameplay section of this guide. As you can see, I'm playing Tryndamere, of course, into a Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix right now is a very, very strong champion, so this definitely not gonna be that much in my favor until I hit level 6, because then he won't be able to one-shot me if I react fast enough with my ultimate. He can still one-shot me though, because an auto attack Q from Kha'Zix right now is just an insta-kill if he gets a little bit ahead, but apart from that, he can't really one-shot me, so I should be good. Now on this side of the map, it's very good for this, like, if you're playing against a champion that doesn't really have the best clear when it comes to his raptors and his golems early, you can better start this side of the map and then clear it down with a red buff into maybe Wolfcamp, Blue, Gromp, Scuttle Crab. You could do it and then take his raptors and his Krugs, and then you can recall and take your raptors and your Krugs as well, and then keep clearing that way. It's gonna give you a lot of gold. This could definitely be a thing. But yeah, and even if he counter jungles your Krugs or just your Raptors at that point, you still took those camps from him as well, so you're still equal. So that's good. So that's pretty much what I'm kind of looking for right here. I saw the Kha'Zix on top side. I figured I'd just run into his jungle and just take his camps. Take that from him, see him top side again. So that pretty much tells me that I can just keep clearing his shit. The main thing you gotta do on Tryndamere early game, and the main thing you have to remember to do on Tryndamere early game, is to get that Tiamat ASAP. You need that Tiamat as fast as you can. Also, a thing with Tryndamere, when you're clearing your camps, mispath there. When you're clearing your camps, you want to press your Q, like, if it's max bar, you want to press it before you kill shit. So if, like, the small ones are, let's say, low HP, or, like, for the Krugs, for example, if they split up, then you want to press your Q to heal yourself up before you E, like, the minions and kill them. It's because every kill gives you extra Q stacks, which means your rage bar is going to fill up again. It's going to give you a full rage bar basically back, and if you didn't heal yourself, you're pretty much wasting, like, a lot of extra HP, especially combined with the Revitalize. So that's definitely something you want to remember. You see me doing it a lot, and you saw me doing it there in Krugs as well. Right before I killed the smaller ones, like, after they split up, I healed myself, put my rage bar back to 0, and then, yeah. Also, quickly to mention, for skill maxing on Tryndamere, you definitely want to max your Q first. It's overall the best. Then you get E second and W last. And the main thing is that you have to remember, like, Tryndamere's ultimate, you really don't get anything that useful from leveling it up. So you want to keep it at rank 1, pretty much. You want to rank it at level 6, and then after that, you want to rank the last two at 17 and 18. For the rest, you just want to max your Q, E, then W, and then you're Gucci. Here, catch the Anivia off guard there. We saw him, and we figured he'd walk this way. Right here, I figured I could go for the Kha'Zix, but then again, I'm not level 6 yet, so I wasn't going to dive that. I just decided to go out and leave. If I had level 6 there, I'd definitely fight him, but yeah. Without your level 6, you kind of have to be very careful of what you actually fight and which fight you pick, because you can very easily die. And if you have your ultimate, it's going to be a completely different situation, because then you can easily 1v1 them. It's going to give you a lot of extra time to just auto-attack them, and if you get a couple crits, then they're pretty much just dead from there. Now, as you saw right before this camp, I just pressed my Q, reset my rage bar pretty much, and then as soon as I kill the camp, I get my entire rage bar back. So that's the way you can sustain yourself without using any health potions on Tryndamere, and that's definitely something you want to do. Now also, it's very much recommended that you give the blues away to your mid laner, because you actually don't need it at all. It's completely useless on you, and yeah. Now right there, I probably didn't have to ult because she didn't get the last auto attack in, but I just wanted to ult to be safe, so she couldn't get that auto attack in. And then there we go, Kha'Zix got killed as well. We saw him, and then Draven played that well and waited in the brush with me. Cancelled him out with his E, and that saved me a lot of damage, and probably my death as well. Now I'm 3-0-2, 54 CS, because I took like a lot of farm from Kha'Zix. Like those two camps, the Raptor camp and the Krug camp, mean a lot. Especially early game. Krug camp is like 200 gold, which is a lot of gold. Especially towards your Tiamat, and then if you get like a gank off, maybe like 1 kill or so, you'll have your Tiamat on your first back, which is very good. If the enemy bot lane is pushing, then that gank is pretty much guaranteed at this side of the map. If you clear down and take his Krugs and come from behind, it's very unlikely. It's really unlikely that it's warded, so that way you can definitely do something. Now we're here. Echo is recalling. I know he has TP, so I'm not going to take his wave. I'm just kind of waiting for him to get here. Then I walk up to the Anivia, and then I press W on him to slow him down. And right here we just chase him down, and he's dead. I was not afraid at all about dying there, because I do have my ultimate, and if you just like, you can keep chasing that. Even if you don't have your ultimate, you can still keep chasing, and the enemy will still, like, kind of respect that you could have ultimate, if you know what I'm saying. So you can definitely still bluff it. Now, right here, I just walk into turret, because, again, ultimate. That's so good about Tryndamere right now, and that's why, like, he's actually a very good jungler. Because his ultimate is just insane. It gives, like, every time it's up, it's a turret dive and a guaranteed kill pretty much on the enemy. If you, like, unless you really misplay it, but you can dive bot lane, which is a very good mechanic, a very good thing to do. Bot lane is a very crucial role, and if you can just dive bot lane like that every time with your ultimate and just get away, like, unscathed pretty much, especially if, like, your support starts tanking and then you switch to your aggro and you take all the massive turret hits with your ultimate and absorb those, you can get ahead really easily. Usually with my ultimates, I always tend to just run down bot lane and just dive them, especially if they're pushed in. If my bot lane is pushing their bot lane in, I'm just gonna dive the enemy bot lane with the ultimate. And if they're not, if my team's getting pushed in, then you can just walk in behind him and just slow him with your W, potentially a red buff, and they will just die anyway from there. Now right here, I'm just in a 1v2 situation. I mean, like with the ultimate, it's very safe. And as you can see, like there's really nothing to worry about as long as you use your ultimate in time and don't waste it. Also, something I could recommend you to do is right before you press ultimate, you want to press Q. Because your ultimate's going to give you some rage back. As you can see right here, instantly gains 50 fury. So if you want to... It doesn't really mean much because you're going to ult anyway, but you can, if you want to be able to like tank a little bit longer, you can right before you're about to, like, as soon as you're diving in, let's put it this way, as soon as you're diving in, and you notice that, oh shit, I'm going to get a lot of damage on me right now, I could still heal that damage up, so then you can press heal, and then you can stall a little bit of extra seconds before you ult, so you can, with that extra health you get from that heal from Q, and then also the Revitalist combination, you can get a little bit of extra HP, tank like 1 or 2 more auto attacks or something, and then ult. You get half your ult bar, like half your Fury bar back, and at that point, you can go from there. You have a lot of extra survivability. So you can get a couple seconds out of that if you remember that, because it doesn't matter whether you like have like 100 Fury or like 50 Fury. It's pretty much still the same concept. Your Fury, if you crit, your Fury is gonna go up anyway in like no time. So yeah. Right here, this is just simple Tryndamere mechanics. I mean, mechanics, you just right click and walk in. Wait, there we go. Right here, I walk in, my ult's up, so I'm not too worried. I see Renekton coming in, but I just focus on the Anivia. I don't care about Renekton, I can just let him hit me. We kill the Anivia, I crit the Renekton like twice or 3 times, and he just dies from that too. And then we chase the other guy down as well, and we kill him too. Now, because I don't have ultimate anymore and I have 0 Fury, I really did not want to deal with Caitlyn. Singe has no HP either, so he can't even walk up and flip her towards me. She could just kite us, and I just wanted to heal a little bit more, and then I could go on her later, as you can see right here. She doesn't have too much mana, so that pretty much forces her to flash, and she doesn't really have a way to fight back. It's a very important thing to look at when you're trying to kill people, is how much mana they actually have. If they have like no mana, then the kill is pretty much guaranteed. I mean, unless they're manaless champions, of course, guys, but come on. Always think about their mana pool and how much they can actually do with that to fight you back. If it's just auto attacks from Caitlyn, she's really not going to kill me that fast. She definitely needs to be, she definitely still needs to gap close. Especially if I get my W slow on her. So yeah. Now right here, I always make sure to pick up the Rift Herald at about this time. A little bit earlier, maybe, but 16 minutes-ish, 15-16 minutes is usually the time I look for it. Because that's usually the time that the pressure from the Rift Herald can actually mean a lot in games. So if it's still up at that point, if like it hasn't been taken yet, then you can just do that. And then you can use that later to pressure like a turret down, for example. Currently I'm 9-0-4, 137 CS, which is like very important. And something definitely to keep in mind, because as Tryndamere especially, you need to make sure you keep your farm up. Also, I've been counter jungling Kha'Zix quite a lot, and as you can see that in the results from the CS here. He has 78 farm to my 141, which puts him very much behind. And I'm level 13 to his level... I can't see it whilst he's dead now. But yeah. Alright, now I have the Phantom Lance Astro's Reaver combo. That's pretty much your core build done. It's insanely strong. It gives you a lot of cooldown reduction, which means a lot more ease, Q... Like, just your abilities more in general. Your abilities don't cost any mana. So you can just keep spamming them realistically. And yeah. Pick up another Infernal Dragon here. I don't know, yeah, or another dragon, I guess. Just pick up the Infernal Dragon here. That's something to keep in mind on Tryndamere as well, by the way. You definitely want to make sure that you keep those dragon pressure up. You're very good at soloing dragon. Like, you kill that dragon pretty damn fast. And if you can keep that going for your team, because your ganks aren't the best, and you can't really pressure too much gank-wise, you have to make sure you pressure objective-wise. So you get the Rift Heralds, you get the dragons, you dive bot lane with like the ultimates if you get them, and get those turrets, and rotate with your bot lane as well towards like top side to get that turret and the mid turret as well. Like, you make sure that you stick with your bot lane and play it more like objective based whilst you're like farming a good amount. And then that way, when it hits like 20 minutes, or when you hit your Phantom Dancer with the Essence Reaver Power Spike, you're pretty much good to carry your entire team. Like, Tryndamere is very much a 1v9 champion, and if you have those two items, the Phantom Dancer Essence Reaver combo, you are pretty much going to be able to just 1v9 the enemy team. Now right here, I don't know if any of you are rage quit or if you just DC'd, but yeah. I'm 11-0-6, 174 CS, which is insane. Like, you definitely need to keep that up. 174 CS at 20 minutes as a jungler is definitely good. Means I counter jungled him quite a lot. I took maybe a couple waves here and there, but yeah. As long as you keep your farm up, then you're gonna be fine on Tryndamere. He's very much a champion that needs that CS. And that's pretty much how you play Tryndamere. From here on out, from this point in the game on out, so 20 minutes plus, you're going to have like your Essence Reaver, Phantom Dancer, maybe your jungle item as well with a Tiamat, maybe some lifesteal. That's about like the situation where you're going to be at. And from that moment on, you kind of just want to split push as much as you can. So you go bot lane, for example, unless Baron's up. Please do not split bot lane if Baron's up, because you are still the jungler and you have to remember that. So if Baron's up, you kind of want to split push top lane from your team, so you can just push top all the way down. If they react to you, they have to react with like 2 people if you're decently far ahead, because you can pretty much just kill them instantly, unless they have like a full tank that could tank some of your damage or lock you down. And that's pretty much what comes out from this situation. So the early game should be played like a very farm heavy style early game, and use your ultimates pretty much to just dive the enemy bot lane, ideally. Maybe just dive lanes in general if it's not able to be the enemy bot lane. And that's really how you play Tryndamere. If you guys have any questions on this champion, make sure to put them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those questions for you. And yeah, if you guys like this video, also make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to see when I upload. I also stream on Twitch, links in the description. You might be able to see me live, and that's about it. See you guys in the next video. Bye!